The Holmes Classic Players presents In a Garden. Luke chapter 22, verses 39 through 46. Coming out, he went to the Mount of Olives, as he was accustomed, and his disciples also followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's throw away. And he knelt down and prayed, saying, "Father, if it be your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." And then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. And being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. And then his sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. When he rose up from prayer and had come to his disciples, he found them sleeping from sorrow. And then he said to them, "Why do you sleep? Rise and pray, lest you enter into temptation."
Our troubles began in a garden.
So it seems only fitting that they should end there as well.
It was in a garden that they found him.
Olive branches heavy with dew.
His knees scuffed with dirt.
His forehead wet with blood.
His disciples had him asleep.
They took him by the arm and they led him
Down the winding road to the city.
Thorns and rocks biting at his heels.
To the high priest.
who barked angry questions at him.
Are you the Christ?
Are you the Christ?
Are you the Christ?
Answer me!
Answer him.
Answer him!
Then back out into the night.
The cold wind tugging at his hair and snapping at his robe.
To Pontius Pilate.
What has he done?
He says he's the
He
Christ.
says he's the
He
Christ.
says he's a king.
But what has he done?
Hail, the King of the Jews!
Hail, the King of the Jews.
Hail, King of the Jews.
What do you want?
Give us Barabbas!
Give us Barabbas.
Give us Barabbas.
But what are you, king?
We have no king.
We have no king.
We have no king but Caesar.
Behold the man.
Crucify him!
Crucify him.
Crucify him.
I wash my hands of it.
I washed my hands of it.
I wash my hands of it.
I wash my hands of it.
Then back into the cold wind of the early morning.
The sun staining the sky pale pink.
His arms stretched out.
His back lay bare.
His skin stretched taut.
Then, up the winding road from the city,
Coarse wood grinding against his road, bleeding back to Calvary.
Golgotha.
The place of the skull.
cruel nails driven by cruel fists into his hands and feet. Then they raised him for all the world to see.
Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do.
There was smoking when there should have been weeping.
There was darkness when there should have been light.
He gave a loud cry.
Father, Father, why have you forsaken me?
And just like that,
And just like that,
And just like that,
he died.
they buried him in a garden.
Wrapping his dead in a place meant for life.
planting him there, like a seed in the ground.
Like a flower waiting to bloom.
And that should have been the end of his story.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
It was just the beginning.
Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 through 7. Now after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat on it. His countenance was like lightning, and his clothing as white as snow. And the guards shook for fear of him and became like dead men. But the angel answered and said to the women, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come, see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And indeed, he is going before you into Galilee, and there you will see him. Behold, I have told you." The sun rose anyway.
Voices raised in anger, swallowed up by the night.
Stolen glances and accusations.
Check the hands over a crackling fire.
The high priest is yelling.
Peter is
The
cursing.
rooster is crowing.
Jesus has been taken.
Everyone else gone in the night.
A night that seemed it would never end.
But despite our worry,
Despite of fears.
The sun rose anyway.
Friday found him on Golgotha's hill.
stretched out on a cross.
Screaming out to his father.
His father, who had always been so quick to listen.
Now turning his back.
Darkness came early that day, creeping into another night.
They buried him in a stranger tomb.
Hidden away from the world that he loved so much.
The world he thought he could save.
Another night that seems it will never end.
But impossibly, in the morning,
The
sun rose anyway. Saturday stretched out like a corpse.
Great and lifeless.
none,
The rest of us hid from the world.
Tucked away like old sins.
Every creak at the window.
every tap at the door.
Terrified that we would be next.
Joining him on that cursed hill.
And perhaps that's best.
Or will you have four?
All that's left to hope for in a world that kills its savior.
The silence of the grave.
We shall sleep.
Too dark
Too cold
to do anything else.
Jesus is dead.
Jesus is dead.
Jesus is dead.
Jesus is dead.
The world is dead.
Everything is dead.
Would not matter if he was alive after this.
Too much has been broken.
Too much has been lost.
And as the hours crept toward Sunday,
We cry
And we whisper.
and we hid.
from the rattling boots step of the Roman legion,
From the rustling roofs of the Sanhedrin,
From the face of God who forsook his own son.
We thought the night would never end.
hope it wouldn't.
that the light will never again shine on us.
Abandoned.
Broken.
Forsaken!
But somehow,
But somehow,
But somehow,
But somehow,
in spite of our
in
hopelessness,
spite of the darkness,
in spite of despair,
on a Sunday morning,
over a cold wind-swept hill,
in a lonely garden,
against all odds,
against all reason,
against all hope, Jesus,
the Son,
God's only begotten Son,
rose